While the US has traditionally worked in lockstep with Ukraine and the European Union on its response to Russia's invasion, the tide has shifted in Washington, with the US actively working to block support for Ukraine's EU-backed resolution that was introduced by Ukraine's Deputy Foreign Minister.
Years of this devastating Russia's full invasion against Ukraine, we call on all nations to stand firm and to take the side of the Charter, the side of the humanity, and the side of just and lasting peace. Peace through strength, as the aggressor would never stop while seeing weakness.
Calls for de-escalation and an early cessation of hostilities and a peaceful resolution to the war, reiterating the urgent need for a just and lasting peace consistent with the UN Charter, including the principles of sovereignty and territorial integrity of states, reiterating a demand that the Russian Federation immediately and unconditionally withdraw all military forces from Ukrainian territory, and emphasizes the need to ensure accountability for the most serious crimes. The US draft was initially much shorter, mourning the tragic loss of life in the conflict, reiterating that the principal purpose of the UN was the maintenance of peace and security and to peacefully settle disputes, while imploring a swift end to the conflict, urging a lasting peace between Ukraine and Russia.
It continues, the greater the suffering for both nations. This war must end now. It is time for member states to return to the purposes and principles of the Charter, mainly to maintain international peace and security, including through the peaceful settlement of disputes. Mr. President, as we gather today on this third anniversary, what we need is a resolution marking the commitment from all UN member states to bring a durable end to the war. The draft resolution submitted by the United States makes this very point.
Be viewed as a rebuke of the United States, key amendments introduced by France to the US draft inserted language referring to the full-scale invasion of Ukraine by the Russian Federation, reaffirming its commitment to Ukraine's sovereignty and a just, lasting and comprehensive peace in line with the UN Charter were all adopted by the Assembly, leading to the revised text that saw the United States abstain on its own draft resolution. Ukraine's text received 93 votes in favour, 18 against and 65 abstentions, including from South Africa, while the amended US draft received 93 votes in favour, including from South Africa, 8 no votes and 73 abstentions.
Mr. President,
South Africa called for a different approach to ending the conflict.
Members of the General Assembly, representing the international community, we should, through our words and actions, take actions that promote peace. If we continue doing what we have been doing and it doesn't reap positive results, then we should consider a different approach. We are at the point of inflection in this conflict, with the urgency to seize the momentum towards a negotiated settlement. There is currently an opportunity that is being presented to this Assembly to reflect on the approach to this particular conflict and perhaps take a different path towards peace.
While the UN chief reiterated his call to the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva for an urgent end to hostilities in Ukraine.
We begin this session under the weight of a grim milestone, the third anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine in violation of the UN Charter. More than 12,600 civilians killed, with many more injured. Entire communities reduced to rubble, hospitals and schools destroyed. We must spare no effort to bring an end to this conflict and to achieve a just and lasting peace in line with the UN Charter, international law and General Assembly resolutions. Conflicts like the war in Ukraine exact a heavy toll.
Ukraine hosted European leaders to mark the anniversary in Kyiv earlier Monday, while US officials were notably absent. Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.